Okay, quick little video today that I've been meaning to make for a while, specifically about Boss pedals. Now, the title may be a bit clickbaity, but for me, it kind of rings true. So I think I got my first Boss pedal sort of in my late teens. Actually, I think I got two. I got the TU2 tuner that I'm still using right now, and I had the G7 equalizer. I think I got rid of the equalizer because I found it was noisy. I've since got another one and put it on my my main board. But I kind of wanted to test this theory that I've never really sort of jived with Boss pedals for one reason or another. Just I'll pick them up and try them and sort of put them away or sell them. So I thought, okay, an opportunity came up to kind of do an interesting experiment. So I still have my original TU2 tuner, and I made a little board just for jams that's all Boss pedals. So on this board, my parents were on vacation. They were at a pawn shop and they found a blues driver that was super cheap. So I said, sure, pick it up for me. So I got the regular blues driver. I've always wanted to get one of the tremolo pedal, so I've got the Boss Tremolo, and I've also got the compact version of the Space Echo because I wanted something that was a delay and a reverb, and that's both in one. So as this experiment, I thought put together a little strictly Boss board and just see what happens. So I'll go through each pedal individually. So the TU2, it's gotta be over 20 years old at this point, easily. And I know those tuners have come a long way. This one is pretty lazy. And the point of a tuner is not necessarily a tone. It should be to tune your guitar, and there's better options out there. On my big board, I've got the Peterson Strobo Stomp Mini, super accurate, great buffer. The buffer in this TU2 definitely colors the tone somewhat. So first thing in the chain, we're kind of already off to not a great start. The Blues Driver, here's just the clean tone. So Telly through Tweed Deluxe. So that's just clean tone. So again, we've covered the tuner. The Blues Driver tends to me to be a little bit too brittle. The nice thing about it is that you can get distortion sounds out of it as well as just overdrive sounds. So I just kind of have these set up as like a general sort of tone. So what I'm getting with the Blues Breaker, just the Blues Breaker. The Blues Driver always tended to me to sound like a little bright for some reason, and I've got the tone backed way off, and I even had somebody, a good friend who was using my rig, remark that, yeah, it's bright. What's on my board typically is the Nobels ODR1, which is tons of bottom end and kind of great no matter where you set it. So anything beyond or underneath that is going to be a compromise. So that's where I am with the Blues Driver. It's good, but I've already got something that sort of does the same thing, but much, much better. Next in line is the Tremolo. Now, so I've just got kind of set for like a moderate and what I noticed with this immediately was there is a definite drop in volume, and I know people have complained about this. I do like this pedal. I'm going to have it sent to Analog Man to have it modded because it's something that I want to keep, and I do think that it's a great, has a real nice quality to it. And that's just set up for very subtle. If we dig it in a little more. And that's just dry as well. Add a little bit of drive in there. So the Tremolo I typically like. There is that volume drop issue. Another thing to note is that all these pedals do have buffers in them, obviously. So what we've done now is we've stacked 4 Boss buffers in a row, which for my taste is way too much. Even on my big board, I think I've got 3 pedals that are maybe buffered, and that's about it. And they're sort of stacked throughout, so they're not, there is a purpose of them being there, pushing the signal down the line. And there is something when you get too many Boss buffers. There's lots of videos out there that show the actual sonic ramifications of what happens. So last in line, and the latest one that I picked up is the RE2 Space Echo. Which does have a great sound to it. It's a good digital spring reverb. It's got tap tempo. The delays, you've got endless options for tape heads and options like that, and it sounds pretty good. When I'm playing live, I find the quality of the repeats to sort of get lost. So it's kind of expensive for what it is, and I've already got other things that can sort of cover those bases. On my big board, I've got a Strymon Brigadier, and that is, you know, big daddy of digital delay pedals. So the Space Echo is good. I've had one of the larger format Space Echoes. Those things are magic. Absolutely, they're very inspiring, and they can create sounds that you kind of don't even know where it's coming from. You find yourself composing based on the sounds coming out of that pedal. But it's a big footprint and very expensive, so your mileage may vary. Again, the Space Echo, the RE2, is good, but it's not great. And I've got other things that can sort of cover those bases. So all in all, I did try to go for an all Boss board, and I tried really genuinely to sort of get over my dislike for Boss pedals. Some won over, some did not. So the TU2, I think, is just going to go back in storage. It's so old and outdated now that there's other things that can do a better job. The Blues Driver, I'm just not really a fan of the quality of the tone. The TR2 Tremolo needs to get modded because there is a significant volume drop. And the Space Echo is kind of superfluous. I have other things that can cover those bases. So again, this is my attempt at trying to, you know, find some love for Boss pedals, which I've generally disliked. So you know, it may be sacrilege, you know, to disagree with what most people sort of say, but it's just not my flavor. I've got other things to cover those bases, but they're good. They're good, but I think for roughly the same price or even a little less, I think, you know, people can do better. So I tried. There it is. There's my little experiment. Even mentioning this to a friend, I said, I'm going to make a pedal board of all Boss pedals just to see if I can sort of find some sort of, you know, attachment to them. And he said, well, that's stupid. He's like, why don't you just pick what's best for everything and put that on the board? And he was exactly right. So some of these I'm going to be getting rid of, some I'm going to be keeping, some are just going to go back into storage just because I've had them for so long. But let me know what you think in the comments. What Boss pedals do you guys particularly like? What do you not like? It'll be interesting to see how people react to this video. So there you go. Thanks very much for watching. Talk to you soon.